Alright, so here we have like the official definition, the exact same equation I gave you. But there's another form of explaining the derivative just with different variables, but it's pretty much the exact same thing. So we have one with the h, which I actually like better in some cases. Here, the h is basically the distance between this x and this this x and this a. So instead of thinking of the limit in terms of x, they say in terms of the difference. So instead of saying going from x to a, you're saying, okay, I'm trying to take it from until the distance is 0. So it's the limit as h goes to 0 of this entire function. You just convince yourself they're the same thing. So whenever you're given two different equations, there's always like the question of, well, which one should I choose, you know? I think it depends on what's happening. So like when I was trying to compute certain limits with the formula, sometimes it's easier to cancel h than it is to cancel on x minus h. Like I think in the cases where you have, like I'm really bad at factoring cubic functions. I'm just awful at it. I hate doing it. It's my least favorite thing. So if I have a cubic function, I would much rather plug in a plus h and then cancel the h's, which usually get canceled out with f minus a anyway, and do it that way, rather than try to factor the cubic functions for x minus a, which is like, I'm dumb. I can't do it. It's hard for me. So I usually rather like using the h formula than the x to the a formula. But I think most of the time, it's usually easier, you know, just to calculate f of x rather than f of a plus h. Especially if you have quadratics, you have to do the whole, a squared 2 plus 2ah plus h squared. It's just a lot of work. So, you know, just like reason. If you can figure it out, it's just that one of them might take you less time than the other. So you just have to use your judgment, trust your mathematical heart, and just do your best. That's all. Okay, so here I have some problems that we can start doing together. And it is find the equation of the tangent line of the curve, or this isn't a curve, it's a line, it's an equation, at the given point. So here we have f of 3x, and we have a point. We want to find the equation of the tangent line. Okay, first thing we should figure out is, okay, what do we need to find the equation of a tangent line? We need a slope and a point. Okay, we got our point. So our goal right now is just to find the slope. Oh, how would we ever do that? We just calculate the derivative at the point. And whenever we're calculating a derivative, we're always thinking of it at x. So here, depending on whichever equation you want to use, I think I'll use the x going to 1 equation, where our a is always like the x value, like just so you know. So we're gonna compute a limit as x goes to 1 of f of x minus f of 1 over x minus 1. It's going to be equal to 3x minus 3 over x minus 1. And we can factor out the 3 here to get x minus 1 over x minus 1, which is just 3. And that's our answer, and we're good. I guess I could show you the other way to show making sure that they both work. So let's try the limit as h goes to 0 of f of 1 plus h minus f of 1 over h, which is equal to 1 plus h minus 3 over h gives us 3 plus 3h minus 3. Those two cancel, and you have it over h. And then you divide those two, and you just get 3. So they both work. Whoa, what a surprise. All right, we found the slope, but we needed to plug it in to get the tangent line since that was our goal. So our slope is 3. We can just plug it into like y equals mx plus b. Or if you like the point slope, I kind of like the point slope more, to be honest. Y minus y o equals m x minus xo. I mean, you just go for it. I like this way better, to be honest. It's just easier. Okay, so you just plug it in. I like doing that first. Y0, and then you just get y equals 3x minus 1 plus y0 is going to be 3, which gives you y equals 3x minus 3 plus 3, which is y equals 3x. What a surprise. Surprise, surprise. Why do you think that is, folks? Because if you were to take the line of any point of this line, like, it would just be the same line. You see? Crazy stuff. Math is happening. Alright, now we can move on. Here we have... Whoa. What's happening? Okay, here we have this problem. It's just to find the derivative of the curve at this point. So let's go for it. Let's try our limit as x goes to a formula. And all of these are honestly just plug and chugs. You just gotta keep going, gotta go for it, gotta live your life, do the best you can. And this is divided by x minus 1. That's gonna be equal to x squared plus 2x minus 3 over x minus 1. And then we gotta factor the top. So we get x, plus 3, x minus 1 over x minus 1. We can cancel these two, and we just get, oops, that's a 1. The limit as x goes to 1. I should be writing this so you know we're still computing the limit as we do this. But I just don't like writing it because it's clear to me, but it might not be clear to you. So let me just put it back. So we're still computing the limit as x goes to 1 of x plus 3. And that is pretty simple. It's just 1 plus 3, which is just 4. I can show you the h way, but I don't feel like writing it. But I already wrote it, so I'm just gonna put that right there. Oh, okay, yeah. So, you know, you can look at that, pause it, have a great time. So in general, most people like using the x to a formula, but sometimes that can get messy. And this is one of the cases where it gets messy. And this is where I usually like using as h goes to 0. So let's just use h goes to 0 and see how it goes. So to the limit this as h goes to 0, we're trying to find f of 1 plus h, which is 1 plus h cubed minus f of 1, which is 1 over h. All right, so this is the limit as h goes to 0. Of 1 cubed plus 3h squared plus 3h plus h cubed. And that's just like what I know from Pascal's triangle and like factorials, all that stuff. Okay, you should probably remember that. That's a thing. All right. Anyway, so these two cancel. Bloop, bloop. And you're just left with 3h squared plus 3h plus h cubed over h. And it's still the limit. So it's be chicken scratch, whatever. Then you factor out the h, and you get 3h plus 3 plus h squared. Okay, you cancel the h again. Limit as h goes to 0 equals the limit as h is going to 0 of h squared plus 3h plus 3. And these are going to 0, so they're gone, which leaves you with 3. Wow. All right. Now, if I were to do this the x to 1 way, which I did. Okay, this is the way I did with as x goes to 1. So, you know, I did it. But then I hate cubic functions, like with all my heart. I don't know how to factor them. Like, I'm just like, I don't feel like doing this. So the way I did it was just using long division, and that gave me like a clean factorization, like no remainder. So then, you know, this is x minus 1 times x squared plus x plus 1. Those two cancel. So then you got x squared plus x plus 1. You take the limit of that as it goes to 1, and you get 3. But most of the time when I see a cubic function, it doesn't go that simply. So I'm just like, I don't want to do this. So I just use h to make my life easier. Oh, don't look at that. Don't look. Okay. So here, this is just a quadratic. I feel like it doesn't really matter which one you use, because usually you just do the conjugate and everything's okay. So I'm going to take the limit as x goes to 1 of x minus 1. I'm sorry, I'm going to erase that. Next, minus 1 on the bottom. You just multiply it by its conjugate times root x plus 1. Oops, it's just x plus 1. Oh yeah, no, that's right. Which gives you, using the conjugate, you would just get x minus 1 over x minus 1 root x plus 1. Then these two would cancel, which would give you 1 over x plus 1. And the limit as x is going to 1 would be 1 over 2. And wow, that's your answer. Again, it wouldn't really matter if you did it. I'm not going to write that. I already did it. The other way, you would get pretty much the same. Maybe h is a little longer here, but for the most part, pretty simple, pretty good. Right? That's all like the problems I have. The only advice for you I can give you is just to make sure your pre-calc game is strong, because this stuff, using the this equation is just like tedious. Like, you just have to make sure that your arithmetic is okay, and you know which things you can factor out, which things you can cancel, and make sure that you're just not, you know what the rules are and what you can do. Just believe in yourself, and you got this, and everything will be okay. All right, signing out. Pachoo. I hate myself.